Novice to Expert, Stories and Strategies for Real Estate Success. Hey there, I'm Laura Ortega, and I'm thrilled that you're joining me for Novice to Expert, where we go behind the curtain of expert and novice realtors. Are you considering becoming a realtor, or are you looking to level up your real estate business? Then this podcast is for you. In this podcast, I'll be interviewing experts in the field, sharing my own growth journey, and we'll learn together how to create habits that produce prosperity and bless others. Whether you're a seasoned realtor or a complete novice, don't miss out on any episode. Hit that subscribe button now to stay updated with the latest interviews, tips, and strategies from industry experts. Let's go. Episode 5, Why EXP with Amy Gregory. Welcome to Amy Gregory on our Novice to Expert podcast, where we give you the stories and strategies for real estate success. I'm Laura Ortega, and we are welcoming Amy Gregory to the show. Thank you so much for joining us, Amy.
So happy to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
Excellent. So Amy is a huge reason of why I chose EXP in the first place. Not only finding her all over Instagram and seeing her success with social media, but seeing this incredible community of agents that she has built where we're uplifting each other, constantly providing resources and helping each other to just reach that next level with a real estate business and serve our clients to the best way possible. So Amy, I would love to hear from you. Can you tell us a little bit about why you originally joined EXP?
Well, I joined EXP, in April of 2019. And prior to that, this is one of the things about being an entrepreneur is everything stacks, right? So I had actually gotten licensed in 2006. I put my license on inactive for a period of time while I had babies for 10 years, and I built businesses and in the background of having babies. And then I went back to real estate in 2017, really with the idea of using Instagram to sell houses. That is why I went back to real estate, because prior to that, I was working with fashion bloggers, and I just thought, oh my gosh, this is such a cool business model. And I had friends that were it felt like it was raining money with this fashion blogger kind of business model where they were selling someone else's inventory for a small percentage with the power of Instagram. Now, at the time, that's when Fixer Upper was on HGTV all the time, right? And I kept thinking oh my gosh, real estate agents and fashion bloggers have the same business model, and no one in real estate is using Instagram effectively. And so I thought, I'm going to go back to real estate. I would tell my husband this, and I talked about it for 2 years before I actually pulled the trigger on it, because I had this great side hustle that was paying me well, but I could kind of run the math on real estate and be like, I actually think this could be like a 6-figure business and part-time hours and and fit my lifestyle. I've always built around my lifestyle. And my lifestyle is I'm basically a stay-at-home mom of 4 kids. So I went back to real estate in 2017 and it worked. I tested my idea. I brought home 6 figures, worked about 10 hours a week. And I can quantify it that way because that was when I sent my youngest to preschool. I had 10 hours a week at my disposal. And so was pregnant with baby number 4 that year, had a baby. And once I knew that Instagram could sell houses and prospect clients, I actually ran into EXP through Instagram. My sponsor is Gogo Bethke. And I noticed something. I had just kind of casually been following her because she was one of the only agents I saw using Instagram, similar to how I was. And I had noticed that she moved her license really quickly. She moved her license from Realty One to Keller Williams. And I remember being like, oh, she moved to Keller Williams, not thinking much of it. And what felt like 5 minutes later, she moved her license to EXP. And I was like,
Well,
Why would she do that? And so I started asking the question of why would she do this, that? And I have this rule of 3 in my business where if I run into an idea 3 times from 3 different sources, it's kind of like a signal to me of like, oh, go deep dive on that, go do the due diligence on that. And so I'd run into EXP 3 different times from 3 different sources, and I thought, I'm just gonna like deep dive on this. And GoGo was the lowest risk person for me to ask because I didn't really know her. So I just shot her a DM and I'm like, okay, what's the scoop? You just moved your license. Why did you move again? She sent me some videos to watch. And it was a Brent Go video. It was like 7 minutes long. I think I watched it 24 times.
oh my
Because
God.
when I saw it, I was like, wait a second. Like, I already had people talking to me about wanting me to teach them how to use Instagram in their business. My broker was like, hey, do you want to help build out the brokerage and like build a team, or we'll cut you into other agents deals. So those things were already on the table. Like, once you're as an agent, once you kind of have transactions, quote unquote, mastered, you then have to get into the agent business in some way, shape, or form. Like, you either need to be a team leader. I chose the EXP route of being a national leader and having like a coaching arm. But the role of any agent that gets into the agent business is their job is to help other agents close more transactions.
Yeah.
You can do that as a local team leader, a national team leader. I mean, there's a lot of different ways you can do that. But I knew Instagram would play nice with EXP, and I knew it would support the lifestyle that I want to live, which is this stay-at-home mom of 4 kids.
Right.
I don't want to lead a local team. That I don't want to do that.
Yes.
So
yeah, you basically like multiplied your time too, because like not only are you, yes, you're serving your clients, but at the same time you've built this team under you that's also serving either your clients or multiplying that effect, right? Of let's deliver this amazing service to everybody.
absolutely, because one of the things that I think you have to look at is when you look at this local team model, and this, I didn't come into EXP knowing exactly what I was going to build. I did not know that piece yet, which is a huge thing of entrepreneurism, is like, you just have to take one step. I didn't know what step 15 and 20 were going to be, but I knew it would play nice with Instagram. But the thing about it is if you're using Instagram as a prospecting tool for transactions, well, Instagram has no geographical boundary. So theoretically, you should be connected to other agents so that I can help a buyer or seller in Orlando connect with an agent in Dallas. Or
that's amazing.
Like, if they're moving to Dallas, well, I've got agents in Orlando and I've got agents in Dallas. So really, that allows me to prospect transactions all over the place, because now I'm connected to agents all over the place. I didn't know that when I moved my license. I know that now, though.
Right. And too, like, as you're building these different revenue streams, right? And you're all over the place. You want to talk a little bit about the different revenue streams that are possible within EXP?
Totally. Well, and I think one of the things is it's like, I think people have to get really clear on what they want their result to be. So I've always been really clear that I'm only working 20 to 25 hours a week. I don't want a 40-hour-a-week job. I don't want it. And so I've always had that luxury because my husband's always worked and basically been the provider. So I've had a lot of time and space to like tinker on things. But you have to be clear on that first, of like, how many hours a week do you want to be working? What's your scheduling look like? So I like that mine right now is I like to work about 25 hours a week. It used to only be 15 hours a week because I had a baby. But now all my kids are in school. So I really work every day, maybe from 9 to 1 or 8 to 1. It just depends. But so get clear on that. And then you build a business that supports that. And that's why I never picked up like the local team model. It wasn't because that business model doesn't work. It wasn't because I didn't do the due diligence on it. I did a lot of due diligence on it. And I was like, hey, that sounds like a 40 to 50 hour a week job. for a year or two before you
Mhm.
can like remove yourself from the operations of it. And frankly, you have to look back and say, I moved my license to EXP in April of 2019.
Mhm.
In 2020, I was homeschooling 4 kids.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
So like that just did not work. It just did not work for my lifestyle.
Mhm.
And what's interesting is as I did the due diligence on the local team model, I started to realize like a, a team lead agent and a team member agent are two different types of people.
Ooh.
Right? The team lead agent is a leader, is an entrepreneurial, is a business
Mhm.
builder.
Yeah.
Okay. The agent that wants or needs to be on a team really wants to behave more like an employee, which is fine,
Mhm.
right? But they want that kind of more steady paycheck. They want the leads
Right.
fed to them and whatever. And I just realized I don't want to work with agents that want to be on a team. I want to work with other team leaders. I wanted to work with
Right.
other agents like myself that were like,
Mhm.
well, how can we do this a little bit differently?
Yeah.
And so I started thinking about it and I thought, call an agent like me would never join a team. But
Mhm.
I felt really lonely in my business because it was just
Mm.
me in my office in 2020 with kids screaming on the other side of the
Oh
door
my
trying
gosh.
to
Yeah.
close transactions. Do you know what I mean? That was the
Yes.
reality of it. I'm not joking. There was a transaction where I was behind 3 doors. And
Oh my
my,
gosh.
but it was like, I got to
Yeah.
get this closed. There was nowhere for my kids to go. So I was
Mhm.
literally in my bedroom, then in my bathroom was the other door, and then in my closet was the other door. And I
Yeah.
had the laptop in there, and I was like, we're closing this deal. And like, I literally don't care what's going on the other side of the
Oh.
street.
Yeah. And so many of us were in that same position. I was like, my firstborn was born in April 2020. So we're like the thick of it, having to find somebody to bring us diapers. But yeah, I remember like the whole world went virtual and it was like, hold on, what is this? What is this going to mean? Like, what is this going to mean for our businesses, for our schools, for everything? And so I think that EXP has like really grown out of that flex that we all needed and really makes so much possible because of that. And so, yeah, just you're the rock star. And I think that that was one of the reasons why I chose you as my sponsor was because I said, hey, she did it. Like she built a business, 6-figure business in 10, what do you say, 10, 12 hours a week. I also have 2 toddlers, right, under 3. And I am also a dual career agent right now. And so, like, balancing that and saying, okay, I really am so passionate about empowering my clients and really helping them feel that real estate success, whether they're buying or selling. But at the same time, like my family is my priority. And so how do we balance that? And I saw that you had balanced that so well. And that leads me into my next question, which is, why do you feel that EXP is like the best place to grow as a new agent or as an experienced agent, you're moving brokerages?
So I think there's 2 different reasons. There's a couple of different things. I like that we've separated it between a newer agent and a more experienced agent. As a newer agent, I will tell you, I always like to say one of the pain points of EXP is that you have to be self-driven. You
Yeah.
have to be the person that like shows up to the meetings. Like no one's babysitting you. No one's like, okay, well, you need to come into the office at 8 a.m. Now, in all candor, if you're an agent that needs to be babysat, this is going to be a tough industry for you.
Mm.
Just will. And so I feel like if you have a strong, like figure it out instinct, EXP actually has all of the resources, but no one's going to come and babysit you. And frankly, I
Yeah.
don't want to babysit agents.
No.
I can create a library and I can create resources and I can create trainings and I can have all the information there and I can be a resource, but I'm not calling agents to make sure they're doing their job. Like, I can't want it more than you want it, right? Like, no one told me what to do. No one told me to build this. This was literally just me going to the gym every morning and thinking about how I could scale my business in a way that worked for my lifestyle. That's literally it.
Fine ideas.
Well, and in hindsight, I would have done a couple of things different. As an experienced agent, I think the opportunity to be EXP really like allows you to be a broker without any of the liability or overhead of being a broker. It allows you to get into the agent business in a way that actually makes you money and actually improves your own transaction business. I think so many people think, oh my gosh, well, I don't want to be a recruiter. You're like, really?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm recruiting people to do things all the time. I think it's a correct, or the other one is, I don't want to be an influencer. Okay, well,
Right.
you already are.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, I'm an influencer through and through. Like, I got teenagers at my house every weekend, and you can bet I'm going to try and be influential on them. I'm going to love them.
That's
I'm going to pour into them and be like, yeah, like, come on, I got you. Let's go. Absolutely. Yes. I want to be an influencer, right? And we actually need more good influencers, more people that are willing to be influential, which means you have to like stake your position in the ground. And it means some people aren't going to agree with you. And I think that was probably one of the hardest growing pains for me, is being willing to do that. Most agents didn't understand social media. They thought it was silly. And so showing up in that capacity felt vulnerable. And that was when I was a new agent. As a more experienced agent, a lot of people, for a long time, the only way for an agent to scale their business was to build a local team, and not picking that one up. A lot of people thought I was silly, didn't understand, didn't see what I saw, which is the magic. Is if other people don't see what you see, that is the magic. That is the point. That is the opportunity, right? It's like Steph Curry realized, oh, I could actually just shoot from the half court. And most people like, that's not even a possibility. So they don't perfect that. Now that's like an insane weapon in his business, right? And you look at like Deion Sanders with Colorado football right now, like that's insane. And he sees that opportunity and he's going to blow it up on social, and he's made it into a brand and he's made it into a thing. Never in my life have I cared about Colorado football, but now I do. Do you know what I'm saying? And so that is the
brand.
It's and you have so much leeway for growth. Like, you have stock options, you can build out your like revenue share arm. Whether you want to recruit agents or not, the revenue share opportunity at EXP is the biggest differentiator, because it changes the way agents behave. Instead of competing with each other, they're willing to collaborate with each other, which there's no, like, if I'm in a brick and mortar office, and this was the opportunity that was presented to me. Hey, Amy, build out a brokerage and recruit agents to our brokerage. We'll cut you into all their deals, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, I'm limited to this little box of a zip code. So you want me to go and recruit all these in this zip code and then train them so that they compete with me? No.
Right.
But and so no top performing agent at their brick and mortar brokerage should ever train other agents. Like, that makes zero financial sense for them to behave that way. Whereas at EXP, it's like, I'm an open book. You win, I win, let's go.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing, like, everybody's helping each other to be successful. And that's one thing that when I joined EXP, I was just amazed. So first of all, I did a ton of research, of course, as soon as you get your license, even like in your pre-licensing courses, people are contacting you and they're saying like, hey, let me tell you about my brokerage. And they like try to, say themselves into your life. And you're like, wait a second, like, tell me more, because now you're on the other side, right? And interviewing people. And so with EXP, yes, I looked all over social media, but then also, just asking people like, hey, what's your experience? Like, did you grow? And then when I got inside, because you can do like a trial run of, seeing EXP World, which was so powerful for me. And I know that you even let people into your powerhouse group for a trial run, maybe like once a year, right?
Yeah, we usually do it about twice a year. Mm-hmm.
And inside that, I always saw there were already so many courses available. And I was just so excited because I'm that person that like, I love to read books. And so like, I'm just like always reading like 20 books at once, okay, I'll read this and read this and just like gather information to turn that around, empower the clients and just become a better agent overall. And so to see that, oh my gosh, there's so many trainings already done by these experts that this is going to save me so much time going through all these hurdles that other people have, summited. And I can save 20 years of my life figuring out something that someone that took 20 years to figure out or invested in themselves to figure out and, jump to that next level quickly. So that's something I love about EXP.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. And I always say like Powerhouse is like the surprise of my life. It really is. I didn't ever think I was going to be like a working mom. I thought I was going to get married and have babies and stay home and make dinner. And that's
Wow.
my happily ever after. That is still where I like love to spend my time, which
Yes.
is why I've built my business the way that I have. So I did not see Powerhouse coming. But it's been just like the surprise of my life because it's made my own transaction business so much better. And being an entrepreneur and being a female solo agent in real estate, it's lonely. And it's really nice to have this community of other solo agents, mostly women, who are juggling all the same things as you. To bounce ideas off of and like, oh, hey, what would you do for this? Or what would you do for that? It's like, I know the agents whose brains operate opposite of mine. So I love to gut check things against them because I know they're more analytical, data driven. I'm much more visionary, big picture. And so it's just super helpful that way.
That's excellent. And can you tell us a little bit more about the story behind Powerhouse? I know you said like it's not something you imagined, but
It's not.
at the outset was your vision.
Well, a lot of it happened. I began growing a group at EXP, and a Powerhouse was really informed a lot as I went down the road of debating whether or not to build a local team. And I went down the rabbit hole, did all the due diligence, and I just thought, oh, I want to work with more agents like me that are already kind of successful, that are already doing transactions. And I thought, I would never be on a team. I would drive that team leader crazy. And I don't really want to build a team. But so then you say, well, then how do you get into the agent business?
Right.
That's what the local team leader has done. And so I did it through digital products. And having online courses and things like that. Again, if you're in the agent business, your job is to help other agents close more transactions. And so if what you're bringing to the table helps other agents do that, then it's worth pursuing. And so that's what I did that. And then through that, Powerhouse just really, excuse me, Powerhouse really started to take off. And that's where I found a lot of those female solo agents. And I realized they all felt lonely too. So some of them have, they go and they sell 10 million in real estate, and then they have sat and quietly bought investment properties, and they own dozens, if not hundreds of doors. And a lot of us inside our Powerhouse never need to sell another house in our lives if we don't want to. Because we just bought investment properties, or we've got digital products, or we've built out our revenue share group. We've built out that residual revenue stream. And it's just really fun to be in a group like that where ideas are always shared, and then they're iterated on and they're implemented differently. And the more you iterate and implement on an idea, the better the idea gets.
Absolutely. And how many agents do you have in Powerhouse right now? Over
to like 340, I think. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So think about all that knowledge being shared in that room. And then only that is when you join Powerhouse, you get access to all the recorded meetings, trainings, tons of resources that agents usually charge for that they're giving away for free in certain cases. It is really, really incredible. This, not only the community that you've built, but it truly is that powerhouse. Like, it's empowering every single person that is in there, not only to level up themselves, but to level up others, because they see how much people are giving and they're saying, wait, I can give something to there. I can contribute something to the group.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And so it's just been really fun to see. I didn't realize how necessary it was for so many of these female solo agents, but it's really changed the game for a lot of us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, even when I opened my realtor Instagram account, several of the powerhouse community members, they were just cheering me on and liking posts and just reaching out and then finding different agents, even in the Dallas area, and then connecting face to face. So it is so, so exciting because we all have that common desire of, okay, we're going to grow our business. We're going to continue to serve our clients the best experience possible. Okay, what are you doing? What are you doing? And then you come in the room together. And then you mentioned too, you also have like an elite group, correct?
We do. We have an elite group, which are agents that have like got transactions on lockdown. They're kind of scaled there and they're ready to build out their agent business, or they're ready to build out investment arms. So it's just more of like the scaling part of real estate.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So that brings us to our final two questions, which is, so the podcast is called Novice to Expert: Stories and Strategies for Real Estate Success. So give me your best advice, first for a novice agent, and then second for an expert agent.
So for a novice agent, I would tell you to decide how you're going to prospect. I don't care how you prospect. There's more than one way to build a successful business. I clearly use social media. And I think actually every agent needs social media, because even if you prospect through cold calling or door knocking, social media will be a megaphone to that behavior. It'll just be a megaphone, and everyone should have a megaphone. So pick the way you're going to prospect, and know that your job is to become a master at that. And the only way you become a master at that is by doing it every single day. I have posted to social media every single day for 10 years. Wow. So people want to be like, oh my gosh, you're so lucky. No, I'm not. I'm diligent.
You're intentional.
Yeah. And you're just consistent and diligent, and you do it every single day. So whatever it is, do it every single day. Prospect every single day. That was what
novice, prospect every day, and expert.
You need to figure out what your exit strategy is.
Ooh.
You have to figure out what your exit strategy is. Like I always say, transactions are the golden handcuffs of real estate. Ooh. But you cannot be showing houses until you're 80. Like, no one wants to do that. Like, the goal of getting into real estate and like on the transactional side is to exit out of transactions at some point. And everyone like wants to be kind of chippy about that or a little salty about it. But it's just like a surgeon can't operate forever. Like, you can't operate forever. You lose your edge on some of those things. And so really you should take that money, buy investment properties, or get into the agent business, have a coaching arm, figure out what your exit strategy is. You have to have multiple revenue streams. And if you're pacing to burnout, you need to hurry up and make some hard decisions.
Absolutely. And EXP is that place, really, that we've been talking about, all about that in this episode of, this is how you can do it. Like, there's so many ways, and then there's so many people that are doing it, that are creating their exit strategy that you can learn from and copy their ways. Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. I mean, it's the goal is to retire.
Yeah, early.
And so you need to know what your exit strategy is. So kind of have an idea of what that should be.
Absolutely. Well, excellent. Thank you so much, Amy Gregory, for joining us on the show. We love to have you. You're welcome anytime. And you can follow her. Can you give your Instagram handle for us?
My Instagram handle is @AmyGregory.
Perfect. So find her on Instagram, go check out her stand store, all her amazing resources to level up agents. And if you're interested in joining Powerhouse, we'll include a link in the show notes. Thanks so much.
Thank you. See you.
You've been listening to the Novice to Expert podcast. If you're interested in partnering, want to share your own experience as a realtor, or want to sell or buy in DFW, DM me at lauraortega.realtor on Instagram and follow for content that uplifts and empowers you to become a real estate expert.